back with our 4th season of the Villa rebuild. We've seen progression year on year. We are now with our first season in Europe. So naturally that is going to have an effect on our league performance. But I would expect to still see us trying to push those European positions. I mean, let's go and see how we've done. Cheeky bit of a spoiler here. We've already played our first 2 games of the season. This is mostly because I forgot to save a separate one at the start of the season. So we've played 2. We've got a 3-0 win against Norwich and a 2-0 against Newcastle. And one of our new signings has got himself 3 goals already. We'll go into those signings in a little bit more detail. And one massive sale that I may have teased quite obviously on the thumbnail. But before we jump into that, if you could do me the favour of liking, subscribing, show your support on the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. And give the bell a little tickle, and go over and watch the Doleboy if you haven't already watched it. We did quite a bit of business at the close of the year. We've made a signing that I'm going to show you in a second. And obviously the big sale you've spotted. Matty Target, it's gone to Leeds for 15 million. Adeyemi went for 94 million. What? He had a few good seasons with us. And then we nearly got 4 times his value. We nearly broke the transfer record that we got from Grealish. Happy days. Obviously, we're going to have to use some of that money to buy ourselves a new striker. And that's exactly what I've done. But firstly, we had Gio Reyna that we picked up. 67 to 76 million is worth currently. And he came in for 27.5 million. Didn't feature in our first 2 games of the season, which is questionable. I don't have choice. I just let my assistant manager do all that madness. We've already brought in over 110 million, and technically, we're still on this year's transfers. I'll jump through to this year's ones, and I'll order it up again. So we'll go through our sales firstly. Leon Bailey, which is why we bought in Reyna, has gone to PSG for £52 million. We managed to get some money in for Mauro Icardi. At 17.25, he went to Shakhtar. And then we've also sold Matty Cash and Isco. So adding that together, we've got about £200 million in already, which is quite a healthy amount of money to spend. Our replacement for Mr. Adeyemi, I forgot his name. See, I've sold him, dead to me, doesn't exist. Is a certain Calvert-Lewin. Came into us for, I've just forgotten the amount already, £47.5 million. It's a lot of money. And he's paid us back with almost nothing so far in the first few games. So we'll hope to see those goals, well, firstly appear, and then in serious numbers. We followed that up with Hamza Chowdhury, picked him up from Midtjylland, or whatever the hell they're called. I think it's about 1.2 million. 2 million, sorry. He's literally just came in to fill numbers and to satisfy the homegrown quota. We also brought in Andriy Lunin because we only had 1 goalkeeper. So he's just came in on loan for us for the season, paying 375k. Probably not going to see any game time, but happy to bring him in. Matthias Palacios has come in for 12.5 million, possibly raising to 16.5. He is a creative centre mid who's going to be playing kind of challenging Ceballos for his role. There's quite a few handy centre mids in our team at the moment. And a final big money signing, we've brought in Tariq Lamptey. He isn't coming in straight away as our best right back, but we know he's got quite a healthy bit of potential. And we know he's quite a handy little player. So he has been playing for Brighton, doing okay for them, probably as much as I'd spread that. Hasn't played for us as of yet, because we do have Kalulu in front of him at right back. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he is a Norwegian left winger that's came in from Juventus. They signed him from Rosenborg. £8 million he's cost us. Played 2 games so far, scored 3 goals. He's pretty good. I was surprised to see that he was as effective and as good as he was when I saw how much that they were asking for. But, I mean, he's already coming in. He only wants to be an impact sub. His wages aren't astronomical. And he's valued between 37 and 42 million. But those few signings leave our team looking as follows. If we go to our filter, put that up to 3 stars. We've got, we'll be generous. We'll go 2 stars. We've got 2 decent goalies. A hell of a lot of cover at centre-back and full-backs. Again, quite a lot of centre-mids and attack. quite a few players there as well. So we've got quite a bit to play with in that regard. We have a few, I think about a week or so left of this window. So I'm going to join you now at the end of the August transfer window, and we'll see if there's any more business that's been done. I know I was due to return at the end of the August transfer window, but there was no further transfers. There was nothing further to update you on outside the fact that we lost 3-0 to Tottenham. That was it. Following that up, we've played quite a bit of football. We did manage to beat Man City 1-0. We played our Europa group. We'll just click on that first. So we finished top of the group on 14 points with 4 wins, being a 3-0, 2-1, both against Heerenveen, 1-0 against Zenit, and a 3-0 against Sevilla. And we picked up draws of 1-1 against Sevilla and 0-0 against Zenit. So pretty comfortable. We only conceded 2 goals, which were against Sevilla and Heerenveen, and we scored 10. Handy. So we're doing pretty well there. We've obviously already qualified from that, so that's good. We found ourselves all the way up at the quarterfinals, in which we got knocked out to Leeds. We did beat Burnley the previous round 2-0, Wolves the round prior to that on penalties after a 0-0, and then that was the point when we entered the competition. So again, we did alright. We found our way to the quarterfinals, but I'd like to have saw us go a little bit further, but we would have met Manchester City, which wouldn't have been great. And then Palace and Tottenham, the other side of that draw. But now, it's dead to me. Couldn't care less. Following the league, we'll have a little look through here. We haven't had quite the drop-off that we normally have in December, which is good. We still finished with 2 losses, one of those being in the cup, so that's fine. We can deal with that. But we're doing all right. With a draw against a draw against Man U, a loss against Liverpool, but it was only 1-0. Loss against Arsenal, which is always painful. Another loss against Leeds. Draw against Chelsea. And the 3-0 loss against Tottenham. Other than that, everything's a win. Except for the most recent game, which somehow Norwich beat us. Bit painful. So we do have January now to run through. And the January window to make any transfers, should that be the case. I don't believe there's anything that I've already got in the way. So we haven't had any updates in that regard. So I will see you on this screen in a matter of seconds, which will be updated from our January transfer window. To say we had a busy window doesn't even begin to cover it. We had Can Goonish eventually join us. So we, if you remember, we'd made the sign-in on that 2 episodes back now. He's came in for 10.75 million as a backup goalkeeper and has immediately gone back out on loan to his club. I thought we needed a little bit more support for our striker, because I didn't cover it in the previous one. Our top goal scorer was that Cheed, or Seed, this fella. He had 8 goals. Where's Calvert-Lewin? What's he playing at? So I brought in Raul Jimenez, try and give him a kick up the arse. Hopefully that will do just that. Above that, we brought in Denzel Dumfries, who is a right back, covering Pierre Kalulu, who has now left us to go to Newcastle for £37 million. We brought him in 2 years back for 17 million, and he's had 2 really good seasons with us. I didn't really want to lose him, but he didn't give me much choice, and I thought as soon as I could get in Dumfries, who's basically like an adequate replacement for him on the right back position. We've already got Lamptey, who we covered earlier in the episode, so I was happy to let him go in that regards. And I did just want another centre-back as well, just to cover what Kalulu could do as centre-back as well. And in that, we brought in Matthias Ginter. I'm a little bit annoyed with myself, because I brought in Ginter, and before I accepted the Ginter signing, I noticed that Andreas Christensen was available for 21 million. And I just didn't sign him, didn't even attempt. I don't know why. I really like Christensen. Didn't occur to me to even try to sign him. I do like Ginter though. So I'm not annoyed at the signing of him. I'm just annoyed that I didn't even try and bring in Christensen, because I'm a dope. But Ginter's coming to us. 12.5 million, I believe the signing was. Yeah, so he's every time. He's coming in a 31, model citizen. He's going to be a brilliant centre-back for us for at least 2 or 3 years. And he'll be good enough for us. So hopefully we'll see Soleil And this isn't the position I was looking for. Can we look at centre-backs? No, I can't. Don't worry about it then. Also, players to leave. We sold Agustin Canobio, who was the Uruguayan that I panic signed. But I brought him in for 3 million. I've just sold him for 6.5. Just move on, really. There's not much else to cover. A few guys sent out on loan. I've sold Danny Ceballos for 13.5 million. Bought him in for 6.5. And he's had 4 decent seasons for us. So I was happy to make a little bit of money on him. Get his wages off the books. And I have loaned out Jacob Ramsey. I'm not happy about this. Because for some reason the game doesn't think that he's very good. And he obviously is very good. He's very, very good. But he's refused to sign a new contract. So he's going out at the end of the year. You've probably noticed I've sent 4 players out on loan to Rotherham. This isn't intentional. They just kept coming in for my guys. I have sent Aaron Ramsey out, who's Jacob's little brother, who has got a little bit more potential. So hopefully we'll see him pushing his way towards the first team as well. To finalise the transfer window, we've bought in Angelo Gabriel Borges Damacano? Not a clue who he is. He's real, apparently. He looks pretty good. Left-footed, right winger. He wants to be an inverted winger. Works perfectly for us. He's coming in already as a good player, like a Premier League standard, and he can improve a lot. I believe there was a few teams going in for him, and I feel that one of those might have been Madrid. But I just offered him more, and I was pretty much just begging him to join. So he did. Santiago isn't happy because I priced him out of a move. I don't know why the game is trying to insist that he's only worth 30 million. He's clearly not. I signed him for 37.5 million, and the game is valuing him at like 33 to 36 million. So obviously I'm not going to sell him. Why on earth would I? Even worse, 26 to 35 million it has him valued at. So even if I got his peak of his value, I'm still losing 2 million. And I'm clearly not going to do that. Look what he's done for us. No. Stop it. But we do see ourselves now at the start of February. We still have our Europa League that we're fighting for. We have dropped down now, unfortunately, to 9th in the league, but we're not a million miles away from Champions League spaces. And also we've got the FA Cup that, funnily enough, we're going to be playing against half of Rotherham's team because the other half are going to be cup tied because they can't play against us. I'll see you at the end of the year, hopefully, with some silverware. We have now completed the season. We haven't seen ourselves fired, so that's a good sign. We have seen Lafont creep his way up onto the favoured personnel as well, which I'm surprised to see, to be fair. I thought there was going to be some of the other players scooting away on there first, but no, Alban Lafont. So he's obviously been doing good for us in his few seasons he's been here. He's now a 4-star goalkeeper, and he was only 3 when he joined, which is handy. So pretty handy little bargain for us that we've picked up. 2 years in which he's got ratings of above 7, and he's conceded less than a goal a game across the 2 seasons. He's done pretty good for us. That's actually maybe my best signing or my second best signing. It's either him or Adeyemi, realistically. What should we go for first? We'll do the league first, because that's the most disappointing of the 3. We didn't find our way into European positions. We finished on 61 points in 9th place, 14 points shy of 5th place Arsenal. So there was just realistically at no point in that we looked like we were going to get European positions. Stoke, they are relegated and have qualified for the Europa League. We'll go and see how that happened for them. They did so by winning the FA Cup, which I'm sure doesn't come as much surprise. But we got our way to the semi-final. We got beaten by Liverpool. And then, in turn, they got beaten by Stoke. So I'm a bit annoyed. We could have scooted our way past Liverpool and then had Stoke, but we didn't, so it's fine. I'll jump back to the 3rd round, which was our first round. So we played Cheltenham to start with, and we won 3-0. We then followed that up with a 2-1 extra time win against Rotherham. 2-0 then, win against Bournemouth. 1-0 extra time once more against Newcastle. And as we says, a 5-3 loss over the semi-final legs against Liverpool. Is it legs? I don't believe it is. It's just 5-3. They just beat us convincingly. Finishing off our competitions, we managed to get to the semi-final of the Europa League. A Europa League semi-final which included Leipzig, Barcelona, and Man City. This is the Europa League. What on earth are they doing down here? Stop it. Needless to say, we didn't get past Man City. They beat us 6-2 on aggregate, and then Barcelona beat Leipzig 5-1 on aggregate. The final hasn't actually been played yet, mostly because the competition is dead to me, and I'm sulking like a little baby. No, it's not. I just didn't sim far enough. As an overview, we finished our top scorer on 12 with Watkins, Calvert-Lewin, and Seed. This fella. He's done pretty good for us. Buendia picked up the most assists and the highest average rating. And surprisingly, one of our centre-backs had a 98% pass accuracy, which is obscene. Along with that, we had somehow, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players picking up red cards. Livid. That is not acceptable. I am going to call the simulation there. Because even if I do manage to do another season for us, and we get ourselves into Europe, and then we got another season in which we can maybe try and win something, I think I've definitely improved the team. There's no doubting on that. Because if we look at someone who's relatively young but was in the team anyway, who can we find? A centre-back, Ezri Konsa. So he was 2.5... He wasn't 2.5 stars at all. He was 3.5 stars when he joined us. He's 27 now, so he's getting towards his prime. So realistically, he should have improved anyway. And he's dropped a whole star. So we've improved the quality of players around him. That is without saying. Chukwuemeka should be coming through into the first team soon. His stats are insane. Great player. I'm pretty happy with the team we've put together. So I'm going to resign there. Do you know what? I'm going to resign? I'm going to resign there. I'm going to resign there. And what I'm also going to do is a little video in the next few days in which I'll go 5 and then 10 years into the future. Just see what this Villa team have done without me. See if they've managed to actually get their hands on any more silverware. Because we know the team have won lots in their history. But it's all in history. We don't want that. We want now story. So we'll come back in that episode and see if they're going to do so. But I hope you've enjoyed what we've done and where we've taken the club. If there's anything maybe you'd have done different, let me know. Pop it in the comments. But there is some items on the left of me now. I don't know why I struggle so much. It's over here. Yeah, click on them and it will take you to some more of my content. Go and watch Doleboy. It's great. Stop wasting your time. Just go now.